these things. But, no, that's just tape. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, dude, you want to burn some incense in here? Look at, like, you see the things on the table?
Yeah.
Those are incense burners. I got, like, some cones. I got some garnish. Here.
I mean...
Here, let me show you my collection real quick. So we've got Nag Champa. We've got Dragon Blood, Rain. We've got Jasmine, Lavender. And this one I've never used before. It's called Patchouli. Which one sounds good to you?
None of them.
None of them? All right, Patchouli it is. Dude, I got this from Asheville, North Carolina. They have so many like weird hippie shops over there. It's kind of dope, but also like kind of freaky because everyone there believes in astrology. Here, let's go ahead, stick that in there. I also got the incense burner there too. You want to light it?
Sure.
Dude, light that shit up. There you go. Good stuff. Oh, get it till there's like a flame. Yeah. All right, there we go. Oh, wow, look at that. All right, it's just gonna get going. I don't know. All right, you ready? I'm gonna count us in. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Daryan Donadio is on the podcast.
Yo.
How does it feel?
It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah, I get that. Dude, I took my first poop at work today. Like the first poop, not like my first poop ever in life. I've taken poops before, but like my first poop at work.
It's pretty satisfying, I guess.
Dude, all right. Like, I don't know about you, but I hate pooping in public. In like public restrooms, I mean.
I find it's more fun.
Really? So you have no problem just going into a public restroom?
Absolutely not. I've cracked a Walmart toilet before.
Wait, hold on. You have cracked a Walmart toilet?
Yep.
Did you like sit on it too hard or something?
No, the poop came out like it was diarrhea. It was like explosive. So it just came out. Cracked the toilet.
Oh,
cracked the bottom of the bowl.
Really? That doesn't sound real.
It is.
It is? All right. I guess I believe you. No, dude, today, like, I hate pooping in, like, public restrooms. Like, but today was a desperate situation. I was at work, and we were unloading a truck, and then I felt the girl goals coming in. I'm like, oh. I tried to hold it in for a while. Like, I felt it coming, but I was like, no, I'm not going to poop in a public restroom. Certainly not at work, because the bathrooms at the store just are so gross all the time. But like it came to a point where it was coming whether I liked it or not. So I had to go. I'm like, guys, all right, I hope you're gonna be fine for a couple minutes because I gotta go. And luckily the bathroom was actually really clean today. So
I can never say that about Walmart bathrooms. There's always one that is just clogged. And
I'm sure that's dude,
it's pretty disgusting of a sight. But I just go.
You just go. You have no problem, dude. Pooping in public bathrooms is never gonna be an easy thing for me. Like,
for me, it's a sign of dominance,
dude. Like, you know how animals will like piss in like an area to mark its territory, or like poop in it. Just like, dude, when you say that pooping in a public bathroom is a sign of dominance, that's kind of what I think of. You're going into this public space and you're just marking your territory in this place where, hundreds of people have pooped on that same toilet, and here you are. Do you hover or cover, or do you just go bare butt?
I go bare butt.
Dude. What a gangster move. Damn, dude, I could never. There was only one time where I was bold enough to just go bare butt, and it was probably the worst situation because it was this was actually, I forget that we were in Boy Scouts together.
Yeah, we were.
Dude, were you on that like religious retreat?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, there was. I remember it was probably like the first year that we were there. There was this religious retreat, and I had to go to the bathroom bad. It was a poopsie, right? So I went to the bathroom. You know, I was there with I was there with Demetrius. We weren't in the bathroom at the same time, but you have the whole buddy system. You have to take someone with you. And there was another bathroom like right next, like it was like individual bathrooms or whatever. But he was in the bathroom next door. I went into my own, and I just bare butted it. I didn't even think about it. I just had to go. And then after I came out, he was like, "Dude, did you sit on the toilet?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he told me I was gonna get HIV. This man, he's like, "Dude, you're gonna get HIV from that." And I was in 6th grade. I believed him.
I go at it, no fear, no nothing. Like, if I gotta go, I'm gonna go.
Dude, that's so badass. I have a lot of respect for that. I could never.
It's more fun when, especially at school. There's one time.
You went at school? That is one place where I will never go to the bathroom.
There was someone in the stall next to me, and he was pooping. And, you know, I thought it would be fun to start a conversation with him.
No. What is this?
I was like, "Hey, how's your poop going?" And he's like, "It's going great." And I'm like, "Hey, same here. You want to trade poop pics?"
No, you did not.
Unfortunately, he declined that.
I'm sure. I am sure. Dude, the school bathrooms are the one territory where it's absolutely never gonna happen.
There's always one that they have blocked off saying it's not working. And then there's others that just clog the toilet paper, and then ones that don't have toilet paper. And it's like, well, you got that one bathroom on the 2nd floor that, you know, it's got everything in it. It's pretty disgusting.
Dude, especially like the Auburn bathrooms, they get so gnarly. Whatever, dude. So obviously, well, speaking of high school, we just graduated literally yesterday. So where does Daryan Donadio go after this?
Rockford University.
Rockford University? That's not with the Rockford Promise Scholarship, is it?
No, that Rockford Promise is NIU. I didn't qualify for that.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. So Rockford University, what are you planning on studying?
We're gonna be majoring in sports management with a minor in coaching.
Really?
Yep.
I was talking, like, when Isaac was on, I was telling him, like, oh yeah, when he was telling me about what he was gonna go to, like, I was telling him, oh yeah, I can totally see you in that, but I would have no idea what to think what you would go into, but that's cool. That's cool. So is like sports? You said sports management.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is sports something you have like a passion for?
Absolutely. It's mainly my passions with football.
Oh yeah, dude. You were on the football team, which I was very surprised by.
Right. And then I have the opportunity to play football there at RU.
Wait, really? So you got onto the team?
So with D3, you don't get paid.
Okay.
You're not.
That makes sense.
You don't get a scholarship for D3 football. Mm-hmm. So it's more, if you want to play, it's for the passion of it. I was originally not gonna play. I was just gonna go back to Auburn, be one of their assistant coaches.
Okay.
But I was told that it would be best for me to get that playing experience, so that if I do go in a career of coaching, I'd have that knowledge.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're going to be playing sports and just like also studying, like going into management of sports?
Yeah. So with the sports management major, it's best for like, if you want to be like an athletic director, get into like a front office of a sports team.
Okay.
Ticket management, all that stuff. But my main focus is coaching.
Coaching,
so
yeah.
I'm going to try a minor in coaching, which that will help me get my coaching license, and then I can coach football and keep getting paid.
Dude, that's actually super cool. I never would have guessed that would be your thing, but that's super cool. That's super cool. So what is the ultimate goal with coaching? Like coaching for high school, college, or
professional level?
Professional? Okay, go big. That's what I like to hear.
I don't have I know it's like when people think professional, they just think the NFL.
Yeah.
But I like NFL, CFL, XFL.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between all of those?
So they have different like rules.
Uh-huh.
That's mainly it. NFL, that's like the gold standard. That's the top level of professional football. The XFL, they have different rules that, people enjoy, but due to it not being like, a startup league, it didn't have the viewership. But
Gotcha.
it's I mean, they had to shut down due to COVID, but if you watch the XFL games, you'd be like, wow, why aren't these rules in the NFL?
Really? Like, would you be able to give me an example of something that's different that works really well?
Okay, so normally in an NFL game, the quarterback snaps the ball, right? And you're allowed only one forward pass behind the line of scrimmage. In the XFL, they changed that so you can have 2 forward passes behind the line of scrimmage. So, like,
really,
if you're, you drop back as a quarterback, pass the ball, let's say, to a wide receiver who's like a couple yards in front of you, but he's still beyond the line of scrimmage, he can then throw the ball downfield if he wants.
Okay.
So it gives like dual threat players, which is awesome to watch.
So the different leagues of football really just have different rules. That's so
Right.
That's so weird to think of. You would think that there would be like one set standard that they all follow, but that's interesting. That's really interesting.
Most of it, the rules, since the NFL is the gold standard, they start with that rule set and then they'll change rules based on that. Everything's compared to the NFL.
Oh, that makes sense. Is there a specific league that you would want to coach in?
I mean, obviously the NFL.
Yeah, okay.
But, I don't have a preference to professional leagues as long as, I'm there professionally coaching. I'm going to take any opportunity I get.
Gotcha. Oh, would you mind bringing the microphone, like, turn it, like, kind of towards me so that it's more in front of your face?
Like that?
A little more towards you. Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay.
good. Yeah. Oh, that's so much crisper. Yeah.
Yo.
Okay. Are there any other sports that you're kind of interested in?
Recently I've been getting really into hockey.
Really?
Like when COVID shut down everything, like I was just so bored. And then when the NHL playoffs started, that's kind of like when like I really got into it. Like I was just like, hockey, like I always knew about it. Like I would go to a Rockford Ice Hogs game every once in a while.
Go Ice Hogs!
But no, I've recently got like really into it. And like I'm a Blackhawks guy. Chicago.
Yeah. I don't know any of the teams apart from Ice Hogs and Blackhawks.
But I would love to actually like learn how to skate and like give a shot at it. Like, and then maybe coach that if I decide to do that. But
so you've never played ice hockey though, right?
No.
Okay.
I would love to learn how to though.
Dude, dude, ice hockey. You like really intense sports. Like ice hockey and football are the ones that are probably like as far as absolute savageness, those are up there. Cause like with football, they like everyone's like tackling each other head on, and then it's kind of the same with hockey. Like everyone's crashing into each other and like along the wall. Like, is that something you kind of enjoy about it? Just like
the intensity of it is what makes it a lot of fun for me.
Yeah,
and then also big moment stuff, but like the intensity, especially with the hockey, if you get like someone gets a big hit, and like hearing the sound of the hit, that's what makes it fun.
I get that, dude. Playing, I played volleyball for 2 years, and like, dude. Like anytime you could get like a really good spike in and just like absolutely snap it and just like and just absolutely floor the other team. It was the best thing ever. I didn't do it too many times because I honestly wasn't like that good, but I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Just like those big moments where like there's just a really good play.
Actually, a couple of days ago, I watched a volleyball clip, and it was just like, it was on YouTube Shorts. It was like 58 seconds, and it was just like continue back and forth, like intense volleyball action, like not hitting the floor, like they were keeping it in.
Yeah, like they were like spiking it hard at each other and still keeping it up.
Right, yeah. And then like eventually, like the one team, they got it, and like everyone went crazy over it. Dude,
volleyball is a tough sport. Like any sport is really tough. You you think that you can just go into these
Right.
things like, oh yeah, football, you just have to throw the ball and run it. That's no big deal. Hockey, I mean, skating can be difficult, but if you can skate, no big deal. Volleyball, everyone plays beach volleyball.
Right.
Dude, it's all of these sports are so tough to get into, and it takes so much practice.
Right, like I always thought like certain sports are easy, like volleyball. But like when we actually played in gym class, I realized, oh, this is horrible. I cannot do this.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. It's tough to get into those things. So how long did you play football for?
I started my junior year of high school. I played junior and senior year. Freshman year, I was wrestling, but I kind of broke my collarbone. And
oh, how did that happen?
So during practice, right, we were just doing takedowns. We were just like free wrestling, like, and I got side slammed so hard that like my collarbone actually broke.
Really?
And that, at first I didn't think it was broke. Like it didn't feel broke. Like when you first break a bone and you don't realize it, it doesn't hurt.
Really?
But then when you realize it's broke, that's when the pain kicks in.
Jeez.
Like the shock. It's because of the shock of the moment, and then you realize it, and it's like, that hurts.
Yeah, dude. Like I've broken my foot when I was like 3 years old, but since then I haven't broken anything. So dude, that makes total sense. So I know like when you break a bone or get any sort of injury, it can be like kind of devastating because you're out for a long time. How long were you out for that?
It was 8 weeks.
8 weeks? Okay, that's so like that. I mean, 2 months isn't insignificant, but I would have guessed more.
Yeah, but freshman me who never committed to anything was like, nope, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Nope.
So you just quit after that?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I never made it official, so like I was still on the roster, and I still had to go to all the athletic tutoring. I was like,
why didn't you just quit then?
I don't know. Like freshman me, I didn't know anything. Like I was a freshman.
Like, dude, I forget how much of an idiot I was not that long ago, dude. I mean, 4 years ago, that doesn't sound like a long time, but just how much of just like generally just a smarter and more intellectual and just like generally just a better person than I am. Like it's like night and day.
Like now, looking back, I'm way more mature than I was a freshman. Like
dude,
I was so immature. Like all the freshmen were like really immature, but then you see that the people, you look at them now and you're like, I can't believe this was them 4 years ago. So immature.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. Noah. Okay. I hate name dropping, but
yeah, I'm probably gonna have to take out that last name. So yeah, if you're gonna name any names, just keep it to the first name.
He was like, and he admits it himself. Like he was a total like prick freshman year. But like now it's like we're chill. Like he's like completely cool.
Yeah, dude. As people grow up, they just get nicer. I feel like. I mean, some people stay the same, of course, but that's a whole different story. But in general, I feel like the older you get, like the nicer you are, just because you have that life experience and you do generally learn from your mistakes, dude. Yeah, I remember you back in the day. You were a very rambunctious man. Can I ask, how many times did you get kicked out of Gifted?
So I was actually only kicked out of Gifted once. I was kicked out of school twice. The first time they didn't kick me out of Gifted.
Oh, okay. Like they kicked you out of Marshall, but not the Gifted program.
Yeah, I was still in the Gifted program, and then the second time they kicked me out, I was also out of the Gifted program. So then I had to retest back in, which I mean it was easy.
Yeah, not that hard. What was the story behind the first one? I forget.
I made an inappropriate joke.
Oh, gotcha.
We'll go that deep.
All right. Yeah, don't worry about going any further than you want to. Like, I mean, I'll ask all these questions, but you feel free to like stop me at any point. And the second one I think had to do with like a pocket knife.
Yeah, it was a pocket knife that I got from Boy Scouts.
Fucking Boy Scouts ruining lives.
I got kicked out of Boy Scouts too.
What? You got kicked out? I thought. Oh yeah. Tell me about this.
So what happened? We were going on a camping trip. I don't remember which trip it was. I think it was Galena. That was probably the best one every year. But this dude punched some other dude in the shoulder. And I was like, yo, why'd you do that? So I need him.
Whoa.
And he started bawling his eyes out. And I'm like, I didn't even need you that hard. So he tells someone, right? And they just tell me, all right, look, we're giving you a warning.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it again, you're done. You're not going on the trip, none of that. So then when we get back, the Scoutmaster's like, nah, we're going to kick you out. And I'm like, for what?
Well, probably for kneeing a kid.
But I was given like a warning. They said, all we're going to do is give you a warning.
Yeah.
And then when we get back, it's like, nah, you gone.
Yeah, it's strange how they changed that on you just out of nowhere. That doesn't seem very fair.
I mean,
but...
honestly, I could care less. I mean, they went bankrupt, so.
Oh, yeah. Were you in Boy Scouts for longer than me? I don't feel like I remember that story. Because I remember I got out like probably early 7th grade.
I think I was later 7th grade, like closer to the end of 7th grade is when they kicked me out.
Gotcha. So, dude, obviously you've grown up a whole lot since then.
Right.
Like, is there anything specifically that you feel like has changed since then? Like, have you changed like habits or like?
I mean, mainly my attitude. Like,
yeah,
I'm a lot more like laid back and less caring now.
Dude, that's a big thing.
Like, I just vibe with each day. Like,
yeah, you just take each day and like whatever happens is sort of what happens.
Like, I just like learned to like just enjoy life. Don't ruin anything. Cause like, especially that freshman year expulsion. I feel like, if I could go back and change that, I would. Because for as much as I hate the Auburn admin, like, Auburn's a great place.
It really isn't that bad. It was probably worse before, but it gets a bad rep that it doesn't necessarily deserve because it really is kind of a really nice place. Like the faculty there is really nice.
Yeah,
really
my
kind.
biggest issue is the admin there. But like the teachers, some of the teachers, I love the teachers there. Shout out to the freshman gifted teachers.
Yeah, dude, they're so nice. They're like, there's a couple of ones, but like most of them are really great people.
I mean, I've probably had like maybe 2 teachers that like I hated.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like all my teachers were great.
Yeah. Did you ever take trigonometry?
I took trig, yes.
Oh, is that one of the teachers you didn't like?
No. So it was Alg 3 trig, which was this year. And like to say I didn't like her, but like I didn't hate her.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Like I felt like I didn't learn anything in that class at all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And she kind of was always off topic. Taught everything but what she was supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I remember my trig teacher. It was this old lady.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Dude, she got no one liked her class. No one liked her class. It got so bad that like one of the smartest kids in our class had to go to the AP and basically explain that most people were failing in her class and she's not very good at teaching and the subject is just so difficult and it's not being taught very well.
Right.
Like it would be one thing if some people were struggling and it was like, yeah, if just some people were struggling, but most, if not everyone, even like the kids who were like grinding at school were complaining about that class. And I feel bad saying that because the teacher, like, she was such a nice old lady. She's so nice, she was so bad at teaching.
I agree with that.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of good teachers and there's a lot of nice people who probably shouldn't be teaching.
Like I always made fun of her every day, like not in front of her face, but like obviously. But like after I get out of her class, I'm just like, really, that happened? Like she called one of her, like she straight up called her second hour stupid.
Really?
Right? She was like, my second hour is so stupid, and I'm like, excuse me?
That's like actually really bad.
But it gets better, at the end of our class hour, she's like, this class is stupid. And I'm like, what?
you know, and then like this is one of the gifted teachers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like I'm not trying to like diss the other programs, but in general, what I've seen is that if you're in like one of the other programs classes, like no one really takes it seriously. Everyone's slacking off. The class is just totally disorganized. But anytime you go to a gifted class, like you can tell the difference just because of just like the different ways that we've been brought up in the learning environment.
Right.
And with gifted kids, like these kids, most of them grind. Even the ones with like the lowest grades are like really smart people, like, and they have to be good at learning in order to be in the gifted program in the first place. So, you know, again, back to that thing where it's like if some people are struggling, like, you know, maybe that's their own fault. But when it's most people, especially the gifted program, like it's very naive to blame it on them. Like it's like at that point you have to rethink what you're doing as far as teaching these kids, because if you're just blaming it on everyone else, then that's so neglectful.
It really is. I know I had a conversation with one of the admin, like telling them like a lot of people like they're stressed out like this school year, because of everything that's happened, and he straight up told me, just do your work. Like, that's the advice he gave me. And I'm like, I can't, like, a lot of people can't like get all their work done because of how stressed out they are and they're not receiving any help. And like, just get your work done. You know, you won't be stressed. And I'm like,
I mean, if you're in something like the gifted program, the workload is going to be higher. That really is just about how it is.
it is. Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole lot you can do about it apart from do get your work done. But the thing is, if you're not receiving help, that's gonna make a lot of people struggle, because, you know, if you don't know the material, you don't know the material. And again, with gifted, like, a lot of these students are genuinely trying. A lot of them are like working their ass off to get the best grades that they can, but, you know, like, not everyone is like, not everyone's gonna understand it. And like it really is a teacher's responsibility to help those students in whatever way they can. Like, I know that they have a tough job, and they deserve way more respect and frankly way more money than they get. But like, if they're not helping the students, then what is the point of them being there?
Right. I know there's some teachers that, you know, I get it. Some students, they have trouble like asking questions because they don't want to be made fun of. But
that's kind of me a little bit.
But like when students do ask questions, there are some teachers who actually just like say you should have paid attention and then move on.
Yeah.
And like for me, like that's kind of BS. Like, your job is to help the students understand the material, and if you're not doing that, and then they fail your class, there's kind of, you know, something there that there's a reason you should have helped them. Like,
I totally agree. That's one thing that I really liked about Rock Valley in particular, is like the professors, they were so open to discussion and for students to ask questions. And they would, every time, like, as far as the teachers that I had, like, they would give the most in-depth response that you could possibly ask for, and it was really cool to see. I never really asked questions because, again, like, I'm kind of an independent person. I really like to figure things out on my own, and like, back to, like, it is kind of like a weird, I guess, shyness or maybe even insecurity that I don't like to ask questions. But I forgot where I was going with this. But yeah, it was just so cool. It's like the teachers who are really good at giving good responses to questions are honestly some of the best teachers.
Right. Also, like, if you can make a connection with the teacher, it helps the class out like so much better for you. Like, I know with my anatomy teacher, like I had a connection with him. We both like enjoy football, right? So like I found his class a lot easier because we have a connection. We can talk about something. The day of graduation practice, I chilled in his classroom like during first hour because it was finals week. So, I just chilled in his class, and we were just having a conversation, just talking, like not related to about his class, but like just a conversation. And, having that connection with teachers, it makes classes easier for me.
For sure. Like, yeah, dude, when a teacher is like fun and very kind and very interactive with their students, it makes the class so much better. Again, at Rock Valley, I've had like most of the professors there are very like sort of flamboyant, and they like they you can tell that they have a passion for teaching. But there was one, I had an algebra teacher who like the whole time he would talk in like a very monotone voice, kind of like this, and he's like, x plus y equals z, not y minus z equals x. Just like he was just so monotone the whole time, and like very, very soft spoken, and like to his credit, he's a really good professor. Like he's good at teaching, and again, back to that thing where like if you're good at answering questions, you're a really great teacher anyway. And he was really good at answering questions, right. But like just because of his personality and the way he carried himself in class, it was a very boring class to get through, and it frankly was just so much less enjoyable. In contrast, my U.S. history professor, significantly more difficult class. We had to write like we had to write several papers for the class each semester, each about a book that was like 300 pages long that we had to read. But even then, even with the workload of that class, like this teacher was just so much fun to be around. He was like so kind to his students, and he was just such a helpful person that like you don't really mind the work.
Right. Yeah, like for me, I need a middle ground, because like if you put a heavy workload on me, I'm not gonna do it. Like,
yeah,
because there's just so much, and for me, I've never been good with doing like homework. You can ask any of my teachers; they'll say like, "Oh yeah, he was bad at doing homework." And for me, it was just laziness, and for me also, like I wasn't too into the classes.
Yeah.
But shit, I lost my train of thought.
You're good. Yeah, dude, teaching is a tough job in general. Like, bless any teacher out there, because like I know that I would never want to be a teacher. I don't think. Maybe in the future, like when I like actually know something about something, but like right now, I can't even fathom the idea of having hundreds of students throughout the day, having to make sure that each one is learning the material. Like, I know we just spend a lot of time dogging on teachers who like aren't good at their job, but like even those tough or like those bad teachers, just like they have a tough job ahead of them. And like seriously, like I'm thankful that there are as many teachers as there are, because dude, it is just amazing how many teachers there are, because I know I would never want to do anything like that.
I probably couldn't do it. I mean, if I did, I'd probably like be bad at it. I would just not do what I'm supposed to do.
Well, you're going into coaching, which is pretty similar.
But that's something that like, it's not in the classroom. You're not handing out paperwork. Yes, you might be doing paperwork, but with the with the team that you're dealing with, it's all a visual sport. I mean,
yeah, and plus, like you're very active. It's not like you're just sitting down and you're just showing them. All right, this is the play. All right, this is a diagram of what you're supposed to do. You're like actually running these plays. Right. You're interacting with these students, and like it's much easier to like be active and interactive with the students rather than on the field rather than in a classroom.
Yes, there is a classroom like education for like football. I know for when we were just starting the season this year, we had like, classroom offense, learning how our offense was going to be that year.
Mhm.
But that was just a 1-day thing, to get us, ready for what we're going to be doing for this season,
Mhm.
Have us learn the offense real quick, general, like what plays are going to run, how our offense will be set up, what's our cadence, what's all that.
Mhm.
And then for the rest of the season, we're out on the field, doing this stuff.
Yeah, and it's not like they're handing you a paper like, oh yeah, do all this busy work.
Right.
You like all the work you do that you put into that sport is like it it re- it is like essential to that sport. You are repeating all the moves that you need to do so that you can master each little thing.
Exactly, yeah.
And like every moment that you're interacting with your teammates, you're bonding with them and becoming a stronger team together. Whereas with the classroom, they are just kind of handing you work at the end and being like, all right, there you go, figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, dude, I mean, that's super cool that you want to get into coaching.
Yeah.
So, dude, I'm interested in the blonde hair. Like, obviously, what made you decide to do that?
It was kind of like, I guess, a sign of it was like, it was during when I was COVID quarantined because someone on the team got COVID, and then we had to quarantine for 2 weeks, and I was bored. And at the same time, I'm like, let's just change.
Yeah,
like. Hair color symbolizes personality change or something. So
yeah,
and I was just bored with my hair color. Like,
yeah, I get that. I get that you would want to like switch it up sometimes. I remember, I think the summer before sophomore year, I bleached just the ends of my hair. I don't think I would ever have the balls to just commit fully and bleach the whole thing. And dude, it is pretty cool to just like change it up sometimes. I kept those blonde tips for probably close to a year actually. Like if I didn't bleach my ends, my hair would probably be to the bottom of my back right now just because of how much I bleached. But yeah, I get that idea of wanting to switch it up sometimes. Yeah. So when exactly was this when you did it?
Back in late March, early April.
Okay.
And
so like this year, not like
this year.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then obviously when it grows, I have touched it up.
Yeah.
Because my hair likes to grow.
Would you think of? Would you consider doing another color?
I'm not sure. Probably the only time I would like go colors, temporary colors, for like a cosplay for like Halloween or something.
That makes sense.
Like a Joker cosplay.
Yeah, get that green hair. Yeah, dude, I don't. Yeah, I remember when I bleached my ends, I thought about all these different colors that I might want to do. Like, oh, should I dye it purple now? Should I dye it blue? Should I dye it red? But I ended up just leaving it blonde just because, like, I just don't know what, like, color would fit me, really. I don't know what color I vibe with. And, like, the blonde was kind of nice. It was really light, like, probably, well, maybe not as light as yours. Well, it obviously depended on, like, how like when the last time I like toned it was, but yeah,
I know for like me, like I never really wore bright colors, so like like last year I always had like dark colored like hoodies on, and then one day I had a Clemson hoodie and it was orange, right? It was bright orange, so I wore that to school one day and like someone was like, what? That doesn't fit you. And I'm like, well,
who gives a fuck? It's your shirt.
Right.
Like you wear what you want. Dude, I remember. Sorry, I just drank a sip of water. I remember I kind of did the same thing. I wore like black all the time, and like not because I was like emo or depressed or anything, but I like it was just like a simple thing, and like I liked the color black. It was simple enough. It went with everything. I didn't really have to think about it too much. But I don't know. Like one day I was like, you know what? I could probably introduce a little more color to my wardrobe. Like obviously I'm wearing this like light green shirt right now.
Right.
And dude, I vibe with the colors so hard. I'm so glad I switched up my wardrobe because, dude, like. I get the idea of wanting simplicity and like just being able to, put on a shirt without thinking about it. And that's good for a lot of people. But like it is kind of like nice to wear some color sometimes. You know? It's kind of strange how colors can really change your mood a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have like a huge collection of shirts,
Yeah.
but like they're mainly around like darker colors. But like I just bought like 2 packs of like 6 white shirts.
Yeah.
So like,
dude, low-key plain white shirts go
that's
hard.
right.
Like, I don't know what it is about them. Like, it's so it's so like simple, but like a nice just plain white shirt. I only have one, and I wish I want to get more soon because like it's like similar to the black, where like it's just like a simple color that goes with most things,
Right.
but it's just nice having something brighter a little bit.
Right. Like, I think, like, the dark colors, like, it does affect your mood. Like, I don't know. I felt like, I don't know, like, a little, like, I don't know, sad, I guess. Like, I don't know, like, not upbeat, I guess. Like, it felt like to bring down my mood. But, like, since, like, changing colors, you know, it's like, you know, I feel more upbeat. I don't know if that's a direct influence of colors or not, but
I think it's kind of the opposite, maybe. Like, it's not so much like you put on different colors and suddenly your mood changes. It's probably because you did grow as a person. You did like become happier and less moody, and like because of that, you decided to make a wardrobe change. You know, not so many dark colors that you would have been more attracted to, and instead you wanted to, like, you know, since you were in sort of like a brighter mood, you did want some brighter colors.
Right.
I think that's more of what it is. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave that as that, dude. I thought about going somewhere else, and then I just totally blanked. Dude, what was I gonna? Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about cryptocurrency.
Yes.
I remember we like. I usually don't plan topics, but like. Cryptocurrency. It's a thing. Do you own any?
No.
I
will never
what?
Get any. Never. No.
So you wanted to bring this up just to talk shit about it?
Pretty much, yeah. So do you own crypto?
Dude, I own a little bit. No, I don't. Not anymore. I used to. I remember freshman year when it first like boomed and Bitcoin went up to what, 20,000. I was like big into it. I was investing in like, oh yeah, let's throw. It was a lot of money. I don't know how I had all that money. It was probably like my college savings or something, and I just like dug into it. And I was like, oh yeah, Ethereum. Let's buy a bunch of that. Litecoin, yes sir. and eventually, like after that whole craze and it like died down a little bit, I put everything in this thing called Ripple and just let it sit.
Right.
But ever since I got out of the crypto game, I don't want to go in, and it's kind of hard because my whole family is obsessed with it. Like my brother and my mom, like all day is like all they're talking about is like different stocks and different cryptocurrencies. And the thing about cryptocurrency is like you hear all these people talking about how you're gonna invest in it, it's gonna make you rich, but like, I know some people have made money from it. Like, my mom invested in Dogecoin back when it was less than a cent in value. And now it's up to close to 40 cents. It was up at 70 cents before. And, like, that's a significant amount of money. She invested so much that she made, like, 40,000 off of, like the value that it would be at right now is, like 40,000 total. And it got up to 70,000 at one point, obviously.
Right.
But it's just like such a game of chance that I don't want to get back into it, because I know one day I did like invest in it again, and the whole day I was just thinking about my money. Like, is it going up in value? Is it going down in value? I was so stressed about it all day, and I just don't want that obsessive mindset again.
Right. With the deal I have with crypto, it doesn't really have any weight to it. Like, I know El Salvador just became the first country to tender it, Bitcoin, but like no major country, like China did like accept it, but they never like, you know, backed it. They never said, yes, invest in it. They just like accepted it for a bit, and then they said, no, we're banning that. It has no weight to it. Like, unlike stocks. So like if if people who invest in Zoom, that had a direct influence with the COVID pandemic. Bitcoin, you know, it can fluctuate just by the power of words. Like, you know, oh, Elon Musk, Bitcoin bad, Bitcoin's going down. All cryptocurrency goes down at that point. And especially with Dogecoin, I think the whole Dogecoin meme is stupid. Because, you know, the top, like, if you invest in Dogecoin and you don't, like, really, really invest in it, then you're screwed. You're at the mercy of the top profile, the top address, which owns 28.28% of Dogecoin.
Really? That's almost a quarter of it.
That's over a quarter of it. 28.28%.
Oh, 20. Sorry, I heard 22.8 for whatever. I just jumbled up the numbers. My bad.
On top of that, the top 20 account, the top 20 addresses, they own a total of 53% of Dogecoin.
Really?
So you are at the mercy of those people. And compare that to Bitcoin, the top address has about 1.3% of all Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's not very much, but that's still like, obviously that's a small percentage, but that man is rich.
That's a multi-billion-dollar account. Same with the top Dogecoin account. If he outs, that messes up the Dogecoin market probably permanently. Like, everyone's at the mercy of him. So if he outs, that's it. Like, that's how influential someone can be on the market. And which is why I'll never invest in crypto. I might invest in, like, stocks because, like, you know, you can predict, okay, this might go up if this company does this. And they do that and it goes up. Like, it can be as simple as, like, I don't know, trying to make something up. Like, I'm trying to think of something. Like, let's say I invest in, I don't know, Ice Mountain stock. And they, I don't know, someone in corporate, like, does a thing and, like, I don't know, predicts the weather correctly everywhere in the United States. People are going to be like, okay, I'm going to invest in that because that guy's insanely smart or something. I don't know. He's a genius. And I know I invest in it. I just predicted that it's going to go up. It goes up. With Bitcoin or, like, Dogecoin or Litecoin, Ethereum, all that, or the meme coins, right? I never know what's going to truly happen. So, like, if that number one guy outs, I just lost my money. I mean, with Dogecoin, it's like pocket change, but, you know, still, let's say I invest $100 in Dogecoin. First of all, I'll be the biggest idiot in the world. But, you know, that $100 was like 40 cents. That can go down to like $10 because, you know, the number one guy is like, screw y'all.
I get that. Like, I do agree that cryptocurrency is certainly more volatile than stocks. And look, first of all, I don't know shit about stocks, so I'm just speculating here. But I would think that stocks are also dependent on, like, you are kind of at the mercy of whoever is the head of whatever company you're investing in. It's just like Elon Musk. Like you were talking about how stocks kind of do still depend on, like, the actions of the company, but, like, Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan's podcast and smoked weed, and instantly the Tesla stock dropped like something like 20%. I don't know the exact number, but it was like an instantaneous significant drop in stock. And, like, go into that.
Sure, good conservative.
Yeah. and go into that idea of, you know, whoever owns, like, that significant amount of cryptocurrency, they could just sell it at any moment and completely ruin the market for that currency. Like,
but with the crypto, you don't know when that person's going to out. Like, if I was the number one guy at Bitcoin and, you know, I see Bitcoin, you know, everyone's investing in it, I could just pull a little prank on them out right now and make people lose a whole bunch of money. Where, like, with the Elon smoking weed on Joe Rogan, like, I see, okay, he did that. It might not be good for a Tesla stock. That's going to drop. Like, you kind of get more of a warning sign that something bad will happen to a company's stock. Like, if, I don't know, like, if Ice Mountain decides to murder a child.
Oh no, this got really morbid really quickly. All right, but keep going.
Like, if Ice Mountain murders a child and that breaks on the news, it's like, their stock's about to go down. Like, who's going to invest in a company that murdered a child and it got public?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
With stocks, it's more predictive than crypto. And you know, you got weight behind it because it's actual companies. It's something, you know, solid. Like it's real, it exists. That company is real. With crypto, it's just internet. Like if the internet gets shut down, crypto's gone. That's as simple as it gets.
Dude, what's weird? What's your opinion on these NFTs? Like these,
they're just as bad as crypto. Like, you know that
before we get into it, would you be able to explain NFTs just for whoever's listening?
It's non-fungible token. What that means is like, so if you buy an NFT, you get into the blockchain. So that is yours. You're now the owner of it. So like, you know the Charlie Bit My Finger video?
Yeah.
That was sold as an NFT. Whoever bought that video, their name is now in the blockchain of that video.
Okay.
Like, but the stupid thing about it is I can just download the video, which I did. So I have the video.
Yeah.
It's not on YouTube anymore. But I still got the video for free.
Now, obviously, yours isn't like the original file. It's not whatever.
Like that person's like blockchain is in the original file, but you know I downloaded that file, so it's like I have that. I can watch it whenever I want. You know, if I feel like watching it, I hate the video. I think it's stupid, but whatever. Like I just downloaded it just to be like I broke the system.
Yeah, and you know, it's so easy to just right click on a PNG and download it.
Right. And I feel like NFTs are one of the biggest scams.
Yeah, dude, art in general, like
there's physical art, like, you know, if I see a cool piece of like actual art, not that stupid line drawn in, it's abstract art, like actual art, like if I like actually want that and actually like, you know, frame it, have it in my room, like if I ever get interested in that, you know, that's something I would consider.
Yeah,
like
that's tangible.
It's tangible, but like I'm just gonna download a PNG if I want. You know, if you're selling an NFT, I'm just gonna get a PNG of it, take a screenshot.
Yeah, it's so absurd. Like, well, what surprises me is like the sheer amount of money that people are willing to pay for this thing that's basically nothing. Yeah, dude.
Right. And if your internet goes down, you can't access that because, well, you might be able to. I don't know. I don't own NFTs. I'm not gullible like that.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just a blatant scam. But for some reason, people think it's a good idea. Waste your money. I'm not.
Dude, speaking of wasting money on art, like obviously we were talking about how art is typically tangible, and like even if you are spending all this money on something, it is like a real thing that you can hold, that you can frame. But this is just like a random thing that I remember. But I was on Instagram a couple of days and I saw a post that said, artist sells statue of nothing for guess how much it sold for?
100,000.
Not okay, less than that. That was a bit much. That would make for a really funny story, but it was only 18,000,
which is still a lot.
And you know the dumbest thing was the artist's quote behind it was like, it's an art piece about your imagination. And I don't know if he actually talks like that. He was foreign, but I don't you have to imagine what it is, and that is what it is. I butchered that so hard, but the idea behind it was like it's all about your imagination. And dude, that's just a fucking scam. Dude, like 18,000 for it was literally nothing. They had a podium with nothing on it, and that sold for $18,000, and you don't even get the podium.
Wait, what?
Well, I mean, like I'm just saying, like whatever display they have is like that doesn't come with the statue. I mean, maybe it did. Maybe they got a podium with it. Like, oh, here's a free podium with your purchase. But yeah, dude, the art world in general, like obviously NFTs are this like really dumb thing that people, for whatever reason, people love investing thousands of dollars into. But like it's kind of similar to the art world though. Like someone like even someone like Jackson Pollock, the guy who does like the splatter paintings.
Maybe
Okay, well, the idea is that like he just has these splatter paintings that like he took a brush, like kind of flicked it at the canvas, and then like you have all these different colors and like splattered colors all over that. And like it's just like you'll have dots of red here, you'll have random lines of black here. It's like it's kind of cool, but I don't know if I would spend hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on that, because like I like art that like someone put hard work into something, someone who like put their soul into perfecting this craft that they're then like putting hours into this piece. And like the idea behind the Jackson Pollock paintings, I guess, is that like he was venting his frustration with I believe one of the world wars. Like he was just like so angry that he would flick paint at these canvases, and like that was the emotion behind it. But basing it almost seems silly to me to base a art piece's value based on like the intention behind it.
Right.
So like, not that that's invaluable. I think it's something cool to consider, but that's not a measurement of the skill behind the art piece.
Right.
Like it's like that part of it is like an intangible thing that and you can interpret a painting or any art piece in so many different ways that it's almost negligible. Again, it's a cool thing to consider, but I don't think it makes an art piece an art piece.
Right. I mean, I don't pay attention to the art world. I mean, like the only artist I know about is Bob Ross.
Yeah.
And the Renaissance guys like Leonardo, Michelangelo,
Donatello,
Raphael.
the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles. Yeah,
yeah, dude. The Renaissance, like probably my favorite artists are like any Renaissance artist. Da Vinci, Michelangelo's portrait, or not portrait, but like his painting of the creation of Adam is probably one of my favorites ever. Just God reaching down and like touching Adam just barely by the hand. And it's like. Right. And the fact that it's painting on like a ceiling of a cathedral, like that's just so cool to me. And then also another form of art that I like is the ukiyo-e. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but like the ukiyo-e, like I guess genre of art from Japan. Where, do you know about that?
No.
Okay, so think the Great Wave off Kanagawa. Do you know that art piece?
No.
Okay. Well, it's this really popular piece that's like, I'm sure you've seen it, you just don't know the name of it, but it's like this wave that's like crashing down. There's like boats like getting swayed by the ocean like movements, and then there's Mount Fuji in the background. And it's probably my favorite art piece of all time. And basically the work that goes behind that is like the artist carves out carves out the image that they're going to create onto a wood block. They paint that wood block and then press it into a piece of paper, and that, like a stamp. They're basically creating this wood block, and they're stamping their art piece onto the paper, and they have to do that. They have to do a different wood block for each color that they use. So like if you're doing blue, you have to carve out all the parts of the piece that are going to be blue and then press that onto the paper. And then you have to do, like, even if you just want to do a darker blue, you have to carve out a whole nother piece and press that too. And just the amount of work that goes into a piece like that, and the amount of precision that you have to have from like carving each piece perfectly and then aligning it perfectly when you press it, it's just like, now that is a work of art. That is something that took time, that took, hours and probably days or maybe even years of work to perfect that craft.
Right.
And that is something that I think has value.
Yeah, I mean, those people that actually put the work into it, like, they deserve the respect. But, like, I could just, draw a line on a paper, sell it as art, and people would be like, "Oh, that's abstract art.
This is so abstract. That's like the best art in the world. It has so much meaning behind it.
Right.
The line represents the singularity, the independence of that individual. I feel their emotions behind this painting."
And then some billionaire who wants a tax write-off, they buy that for like $30 million.
Wait, so it's really about tax write-offs?
Yeah. There's mainly tax write-offs, yeah.
Would you be able to explain that, or
so I believe how it goes is some idiot makes some like brain dead idiot just draws a line on a paper, and then it gets sold to a museum, and billionaire invests in that for however much, and they use that as a tax write-off, while people be like, "Oh, that's abstract art. You don't know art or any of that." And it's like, no, it was created by someone who, picked up a paintbrush and went to the dollar store to grab $1 paint.
So basically, it's like, because this art piece is in a museum and someone's investing in it, like that's. So since they're like sort of investing in an institution, that's what gives them the write-off.
That's what it is.
That's interesting. I never really thought about it, and that kind of explains a lot.
It does.
Whoa. Yeah, I had no idea why rich people love like dumb art so much, but that seems to explain it a lot.
All right, because the rich don't like paying taxes.
Yeah, dude. That blew my mind a little bit. That's so strange. Yeah, dude. Well, man, we're at an hour now. Does it feel like it's been an hour?
Not really.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I was kind of glancing over, and I was looking like, oh, we're only at 15 minutes. Am I gonna be able to hold a conversation for that long? And here we are, just suddenly in an hour. I'm like, wow, dude. I was actually very impressed by this podcast. This conversation rather. I had no idea what to expect going into this. Like, I was like, is he still gonna be his rambunctious self that I know him as, or like, is he gonna be a completely different person? And what are we gonna talk about? Like, and we ended up talking about some really cool shit, like cryptocurrency, art, like just like growing as a person. I didn't expect that kind of conversation from you, so I commend you for that. Dude, plug your shit. You wanted to plug your YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So Daryan Donadio has a YouTube channel, guys. It's
called Chase Rider.
Chase Rider. Can you spell that for us?
CHASE space RYDER.
Chase Rider on YouTube, everybody. And then is there anything else you want to plug?
Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/CTR299.
Okay. All right, guys. You heard it. Well, thank you so much for being on, Daryan.
Have me back whenever you want.
Dude, I would love to. This was actually a really good conversation. I enjoyed this. I was pleasantly surprised. All right. Well, thank you for being on this podcast.
You're welcome.
And thank you for listening. Bye-bye, everybody.